Bowmasters in my Boros deck? More likely than you might think. Alright, memes aside, I've been queuing up with this deck, and I think I have found the next goal innovation in the Boros Energy shell. I'm currently ranked number 19 in the world right now on Constructed Ladder, and I don't know of any other players who are ranked higher playing timeless best of threes. So let's go over this deck. Let's go over what we got going on over here. This is still, in my opinion, a really early draft of the deck. I haven't had too many other people working with me on this or refining this concept. I've seen other people try to put together Mardu versions of the Boros deck, but I think there's still a lot of room for innovation here, and the deck can only go up from here. So let's go over the individual cards really quickly. First, we have the usual suspects of the Boros Energy package. We've all seen this 100 times before. Guide of Souls, Galvanic Discharge, Amped Raptor, Unstable Amulet. These are some of the most efficient cards ever printed, and they all share the mechanic of energy and work incredibly well together. Another common card that you see in these energy decks is a Johnny, not because it's an energy card, but just because it's an incredibly powerful 2-drop that the aggressively curved energy decks can lean into very well. It's very easy to flip your Johnny. It flips if any of your cats die, or it flips if you just play 2 copies and the Legend Roulette. And the flipped side of the Ajani is crazy strong, especially when you have permanents like Unstable Amulet that your opponent doesn't usually remove and that are red that fit the requirement of his zero ability. The zero ability is any target, which means it goes face, which means it burns your opponent out really, really, really quick in the energy deck, even if the board state is completely gummed up. Last card from the traditional energy deck here is Flage. Flage is a recent addition to the lists. More and more people have been opting out of playing Lurrus and opting into playing this card. This card is absolutely absurd in the mirror match. It is removal and card advantage and a game-ending threat all in one. You play this as a slow 3-mana Lightning Helix, but then its eventuality. It comes back, it's at one point going to be the biggest creature on the board once you finally escape it, and it doesn't matter if that takes forever because he's here for the long games, and he also gains you life and acts as a removal spell for when the game is early. So that shell is incredibly strong, and this shell has traditionally been supported with more aggressive red and white creatures, things like Ragavan, Ocelot, Pride, and the idea is you're just throwing these 1-drops at your opponent, backing it up with removal like Galvanic Discharge, Lightning Bolt towards the Plowshares, and with blocking them quick. Saw a couple people on ladder opts for Mardu and build around a couple of different cards to make the deck a little bit more grindy. I've seen people put the Scam Elementals in this deck. I've seen people put the Cat Oven in this deck. I've seen a lot of different attempts at making a Mardu version of this deck, but I think I finally cracked it. Built around Chthonian Nightmare. Chthonian Nightmare is another energy card, and you can play it by itself without other energy generators. But I realized it's absolutely silly with a Guide of Souls in play. Absolutely silly with a card like Orcish Bowmasters that, when you put it into play, gain 2 life, make 2 energy. It gives you an extra little 1/1 token you could sacrifice. Sacrifice it to your Nightmare. You're going to reanimate something. Guide of Souls, it's going to give you an energy, give you a life, refund some of that energy cost. You could take that extra energy. You could pump it into your Unstable Amulet, get some cards. You could also pump the energy into Guide of Souls' activated ability. See how crazy this is? We're starting to get somewhere. So we are playing an incredibly powerful engine that allows this very fast deck to also go grinding. We're playing arguably one of the best cards of the format, Orcish Bowmasters, because we're now in the color. We're playing another notoriously busted 1-drop. This deck did lose its other 1-drops. You might notice no Ragavan, no Ocelot Pride. Those are very fragile 1-drops with only 1 toughness. They die to a Stiff Breeze. So, since we've lost some of that explosiveness, I decided to add another 1-drop to shore up the deck, and that's Deathrite Shaman. Deathrite Shaman does everything. It ramps our mana and fixes it. It hates on the opponent's graveyard. It provides reach with that activated ability that costs black mana, and we do even have 1 green source that we can splash for the other ability, which can act as graveyard hate against something like a scam deck trying to reanimate, or any deck playing reanimate, any deck playing a card like Ura. Amazingly busted card. The last thing that we get for playing in black is Bloodseas, which I'm currently playing 4 copies of. And because we've slowed the deck down, we're not a 12-1 drops deck anymore where we have Ragavan and Ocelot Pride and we're trying to snowball turn 1. What we're doing on our turn 1 is we are going to be setting up. We're playing a Guide of Souls to enable energy generation on a later turn, or playing Deathrite Shaman to enable our next turn, or we're playing Thoughtseize to disrupt our opponent's plan to give ourselves a little bit more time. Not sure if this main deck's optimal. This is still in what I would call an early draft state, even though I've found a lot of success with it. I could be convinced that, hey, maybe Thoughtseize shouldn't be in the main board. Maybe this should be main board Lightning Bolt, main board Swords to Plowshares. Maybe any sort of interaction. Maybe it should still be Ragavan. I don't know. I'm going to need the community's help. I need everybody to start jamming some games. Mana base, pretty straightforward. We have 10 fetch lands over here in the Mardu colors. 10 fetch lands, and then for fetchables, I think we have 6 shocks, 2 surveil lands. I originally had 1, I went up to 2. These things are so strong, and then a basic in each of our colors. On to sideboard choices, we have Duress for combo decks and control decks. 4 copies of Surgical Extraction. I think Surgical Extraction is incredibly sweet when you are running discard spells. You discard your opponent's combo piece and exile it. Against the scam deck, you get to exile the card as they try to reanimate it or scam it. It's absolutely fantastic, and I think it's a great idea to play 4 copies of this if you're playing the proactive discard spells in your deck as well. We have 2 more Deafening Silences to help shore up the unfair matchups. This is for any sort of combo deck, or even just a deck that's trying to do something like Dark Ritual into Necropotence. Not a literal combo, but it still slows down a deck like that and gives us time. 4 Swords to Plowshares, when we're playing against creature decks, generally the Thoughtseize come out. These come in, nice and simple sideboarding against creature decks. 2 more Pithing Needles as a catch-all, generally against combo decks and unfair decks. Could go in against the mid-range or a control deck that has a really powerful engine that we can't disrupt otherwise, or something that is stopping us that we need to heat on. And that's it for this deck. We also have the Giganta Companion. Of course, I love this deck because this is a very powerful, very strong, energy-based mid-range deck. Even if opponent shuts off Chthonian Nightmare, they shut off the graveyard, we still have what I think is a really solid deck that can just slap them with a Guide of Souls. And I don't know, it's been working for me in ranked. Like I was ranked 19 before, lost a game, we're down to rank 20, but we're gonna queue back up. Let's see if we can get back to rank 19, maybe even higher than that. Okay, game number 1 recording with this deck. We are up against a unknown opponent. No companion for them. Our opening hand, it doesn't have anything busted in terms of energy. We don't have energy generation. Like a Guide of Souls, we don't have our cool Chthonian Nightmare that I was talking about, but we just have these incredibly strong mid-range cards in Deathrite Shaman, Bowmasters, and then we have an Amulet and at least 1 energy card to hopefully grab us some card advantage later. One awkward thing is these basic plans. Oof, that's a little awkward to draw, but not the end of the world. Oh, and I gotta turn on our silly little profile. There we go. Need a silly avatar. I don't know what the opponent is playing, but if I saw my own hand, I would probably take the Deathrite Shaman, unless Bowmasters would pose them a real problem. But they take Amulet. Okay, wasn't thinking that one. We did draw an untapped source that would allow us to play Deathrite Shaman and then Bowmasters next turn. I'm gonna go ahead and play this. Argument to play like Arid Mesa just to give opponent a little bit less information, but then I would have to shock fetch early. I probably want to get a blood crit anyway, so I might as well just play the crit. Ooh, double shaman. Okay. So what I think I maybe should do. There's options. So I could try to Deathrite Shaman double ping down one of these Bowmaster, or excuse me, I could try to double Bowmaster ping a Shaman, but I would need 4 mana for that, so I'd have to wait until next turn, allow our opponents to untap with the Shamans. I think we do need to kill them. The question is, do we want to kill one, kill both? I think kill one is cool for now. That's really all that we can do this turn. I was just thinking maybe we set up to kill another. What we could have done is paid 1 energy instead, and then did a Bowmaster's ping. I can't explain too much. We need to move with some amount of haste. Let's get a red-white source. Black-white source. Exile that land from our graveyard. Adding... We're gonna get this Amulet down, because this is probably a very tough permanent for my opponent to interact with. They did discard it after all, and playing mono black, there's really no way for them to prevent this card advantage. There's no ways to destroy artifacts in black, and that's why they did exile it. Their deck, I'm assuming, is going to be like a slow mid-rangey black deck, so the card advantage and the pings from this is definitely going to add up over time. Right, let's look the first card under here. Johnny. That's sweet. Okay, we drew 4th land. That's awesome. Let's go ahead and play the Ajani, keep up our Deathrite Shaman activated ability. We'll get a ping here.
What a beautiful day, brother.
We're just chilling and passing. There's no lands in graveyard, which is why I'm not trying to cast a Bowmasters right now. And also, our opponent would be able to fight us with the Deathrite Shaman activation. We have opposing Shamans right now, so we can interrupt each other's activations. And they have Surge Injure Screaming. Opponent doing a quick little surveil. They have a way to reanimate the troll and make it a little sketchy. I don't have a green source in play to help the Shaman. There is only one green source in the deck. You can't stretch the mana base too thin. And since we have dueling Shamans, I think we should just not activate. Then they will just activate in response. Ooh, Nightmare. Alright, that's sweet. The only problem is that we need a creature to go to the grave. Interesting. Very interesting. Flipping in a Johnny would be very dope. Just trying to think out my lines here. We're always going to play this land. I think what the line is we're going to start with Bowmasters attempting to kill our cat. If that's gets interrupted, for example, a removal spell on the Ajani, we can then Chthonian Nightmare, sacrificing one of our creatures to get the Ajani back. And then next turn, flip the Ajani. Seems like the best course of action. And if this just goes through clean, then we get to play second Bowmasters. We could also flash in the second Bowmasters to shoot our cat if there's removal. I think that's actually a bit cleaner than Chthonian Nightmare. Yeah, nice, we get to flip it. And they will concede to that. Okay. Sweet. So against the mono black midrange deck, we can only assume since they're playing Troll that they are going to have some amount of reanimation in their deck, so I'm going to put in all of the surgicals. It's a midrange deck, Thought Seizes are generally worse. I'm thinking, do I maybe want Swords to Plowshares? Because they are going to be reanimating some big chunky boys. And this is a clean way to 1-for-1 answer them. I think there's some merit to having some of them on the draw. But then what am I cutting here? Maybe cut a Bowmasters for a Swords. Seems okay. I was thinking of maybe cutting Flage, but they are a grief scam deck, I'm assuming. And Flage is one of those cards that helps you recover from getting grief scammed. It's a pretty decent opening hand. We get the Surveil to help us find our third land, and then just a bunch of value creatures. Ooh, the Guide of Souls. Unfortunately, since we got this tap land, there's no real way to fit it in. We're gonna stick with the original plan here. Oh, Surgical? I'm gonna put that in the bin, because I really need to hit my land drop, and I'm thinking that Surgical is not needed anymore, since they didn't turn 1 or turn 2 me. Well, it is turn 2 right now, but I wouldn't be able to draw this until turn 3. If they're gonna do a reanimate, it's gonna be on turn 1 or 2. And it looks like they just don't have it, which is great. Maybe I should have drawn that anyway, just to exile the first grief that does happen to hit the graveyard. Getting grief or troll out of their deck forever, so we don't have to worry about it, could be pretty nice. Ah, the grief scam coming through, so let's let our opponent do their thing, rip our hand apart, and then we can make up a new plan based on what we have left. Our hand is pretty resilient to the scam. We have the Amp Drafters that effectively act as 2-for-1s. We have Flage, like I said, is awesome against it. They take Guide of Souls, dude. That card is too good. It's a Guide of Souls world, and we're just living in this format. Alright, so the only cards that cost more than 2 in the deck are Flage. And there's only 1 left in the deck, so I think I'm going to run out the Amp Drafter. Usually I would like to flash Bowmasters here. But Amp Drafter is a hit on everything except 1 card. If we hit the 1 Flage, I'm going to be very upset. Alright, there we go. So now we have an opposing Shaman. This is the last time that they can activate theirs unopposed as long as we hold up mana. Fatal Push, that makes total sense. Deathrite Shaman is a very strong card. Very much answer on sight in my mind as well. Four mana? Might be a ring. Ah, Shield Druid, cool. Okay. I'll have to think about how to answer that, shall I? Let's go ahead and do Amped Raptor again. Thinking. We don't have anything good enough. Chthonian Nightmare just yet. Like a Guide of Souls could eventually get us somewhere if we keep cooking. I think we're gonna take the 2-for-1 right now. Oh, we have enough energy? He gets to do it all. He can't keep getting away with it now, can he? Alright, that was pretty sweet. So now, unless our opponent does have another 4-mana threat like a ring, I think we're in a really good position. Alright, we're in a fantastic position because what we're going to do is we're going to Flage down the Deathrite Shaman. They can activate Deathrite Shaman to exile the Flage. Actually, I think if we stack our triggers right and do the 3 damage first, they will not be able to exile our Flage. Yes. This is the default way the triggers stack to, so it's hard to get this wrong. Make sure the damage goes through first so that this Deathrite Shaman dies, therefore it cannot activate to exile the Flame. They're going to exile my Guide of Souls because this card is messed up. Best card in the set. Ah, who had that on their bingo card that Guide of Souls would screw up this format? Bowmasters from them, usually I'd be a little upset to see a Bowmasters, but it's their last card. I think we are in the driver's seat, but a card like the One Ring would absolutely allow them to turn the corner. Alright, so now we got some options. I think the best option is just to deploy these 2 creature threats, and then maybe we can lean on Chthonian next turn. We also just Fleech down their Bowmasters. I don't really see the reason to do that. They can always sacrifice whatever I target with Fleech to this Phyrexian Tower to nullify the 3 life gain. That's super relevant here, but it's something to know if you are playing a Phyrexian Tower deck. You should always be ready to do that. One more card in the graveyard, and I can cast Flage with the help of Deathrite Shaman activating. So, opponent's fetch land. Let's go ahead and Bowmaster their Bowmaster, and my opponent is out of here. Yeah, they knew it was going to be a slow death by Chthonian Nightmare right there, and I was also close to getting that Flage back. I know, like, you, the viewer, have not gotten to see it yet, but Chthonian Nightmare looping Bowmasters gets very annoying very quickly. It generates a lot of value. Alright, there, rank 19. Let's do it. Alright, we are on the draw against an unknown opponent. No companion being presented. This hand is pretty decent. I wouldn't call it amazing. I wouldn't say there's anything to write home about, but we got Thoughtseize into a card that is almost always a 2-for-1, plus our engine. Hard to say no to this. This is going to be a painful hand, though, and this is one of the things I've noticed about this deck and this mana base when compared to the Boros version. Man, it is painful. In the Boros deck, you maybe take 4 or 5, at most 6 points of self-damage over the course of a game to your mana base. That's over the course of a whole game. In this deck, you're taking that much self-damage in the first 2 turns. It's insane. Alright, our opponent is on Grief Scan. They mulled down to 6. They pitched to Reanimate, which means they definitely have another one. So our hand is unfortunately going to get ripped apart. Probably just going to leave us with a Thoughtseize, because I'm assuming they mulliganed to hell, and they're going to have nothing but this grief in hand, really. We'll see whether or not they let us keep the engine. Yeah, they do let it. Yeah, they do let us keep that Thoughtseize. I'm going to be the sucker and pay 4 life for this. Oh, they did have something to take. Oh, so we could take their land drop, or we could take the Fable. I'm okay with them having the land drop. What I'm really concerned about is them actually being able to do something. They can grab a Surveil land here off of the Troll, which is some really nice upside. So over here, we can draw pretty much anything. If we put threats on the board, that's good. We can race this grief or just block it. If we draw a removal spell, then that means our opponent has 0 pressure, nothing going on. That's a perfect draw because we can play our Surveil land, take our Surveil. Oh, that's a good card. And then play Guide of Souls. And I've been singing Dinosaur's praises, but like this has sincerely become one of the strongest cards in the format. Like this is a kind of card. Hey, you got to remove it, or your opponent's going to start getting ahead. Oh wow, Cabaretti Revels. Whenever you cast a creature spell, seek a secret creature card with lesser mana value, then put it onto the battlefield. I'm assuming this works with Evoke. So if they evoke Grief for 0 mana, they still get a 3 mana or less creature, which is pretty sick. I'm just assuming it works that way, otherwise why would our opponent be playing it, right?
Nothing is more important.
So yeah, gain 2 right there, so now we can stabilize in this race. And then next turn we can start doing the Chthonian Nightmare thing. We can get the Raptor back, sacking the token. That would allow us to flip our Ajani. And then we're going to get a crap ton, and I mean a crap ton of energy in the process. Looks like our opponent might just be drawing dead here. At least they're not getting priority as if they have an instant. I could keep this Thoughtseize on top to clear. Yeah, let's do that. Just to be sure, because I'm 99% sure we win the game once we slam this Nightmare. Ah, a Fury. Okay. Yeah, if they drew a red card, that would have us up. Absolutely no exaggeration there. That would have been killer. Alright, 1-2. Bring back the Amped Raptor. Sacrifice this. We get to flip a Johnny. We have a red permanent in play. We gain more life, we gain more energy. We make a cat. We gain life, we gain energy. We kill the reef on the board. We have extra energy, so now we can turn this into pressure. We got a flying attacker. And we can Nightmare again next turn. Isn't that crazy? Well, actually, we don't have a creature in our graveyard, so we can't Nightmare forever. That is one thing that you have to keep in mind with this deck. This deck doesn't have a way to fill its graveyard other than your creatures dying naturally, so you need to make sure you leave a non-token creature in your graveyard in order to do your Chthonian Nightmare loop. You can't just sack tokens forever because you're not milling yourself. You're not actually hitting more things in that graveyard. Oh, that's funny. We drew Fleet. This is lethal. I think we had lethal with the Johnny anyway.
More join our cause.
Nice. Oh, this deck is sick. Let's get it. So against Grief Scam, I mean, same thing as last time, right? We want the Surges. This is Rakdos Scam as opposed to Mono Black, and I assume that other Mono deck, is black deck from before, is leaning on the One Ring because they had a Shieldred. They just happened to not draw it. But this is your classic Rakdos Scam. Yeah, I like the 4 Surgicals, 1 Swords coming in, 1 of you come out, and maybe a Nightmare can come out. Maybe a Nightmare, maybe a Bowmasters, probably a Bow. Right. Maybe we can take out one more card. I think we're good. And like I said before, like I'm very much work in progress with this deck. Sideboards are the hardest thing to build, so the sideboard itself is very in progress. And I don't know if I'm making any of these decisions optimally. I don't even know if I have the right cards in my sideboard. But hey, we're number 19 on the ladder, so we got to be doing something right? Okay. This is the energy hand. Ah, we're back to playing Boros Energy, huh? Oh, I really miss Boros Energy, because like here, it's like, oh, I'll just fetch a basic all lackadaisically, and then, we'll get 1 Sacred Foundry to make sure the mana works out. It's nice and easy. But here, it's going to be shock fetch every turn. We're going to shock fetch Orzhov and then shock fetch Rakdos, I think, in our first 2 turns. Soul is going to help offset that life loss if he stays in play, though, which is pretty nice. Our opponent didn't keep a turn 1 scam hand. They still might have a way to reanimate this troll on turn 2 and make our life a little bit difficult. Oh wow, and they just get the Ruckus. So probably no reanimate from them? I guess they just kept the mid-rangey hand. Nope, there is your reanimate coming through off the... Okay, just a lightning bolt. They kept the mid-rangey hand. Good. Because we didn't have the tools to answer a reanimated troll right away. That card might have actually just run us over and killed us in 3 attack steps. Here we could get a basic mountain, but we have like just a lot of white and black cards in our hands, so I think it's better to get this. Amped Raptor, the only misses would be Flage. We could also play a Johnny. Count on a legend ruling him perhaps, then we won't have a red permanent right away. So let's play the Raptor. Let's try to get our little 2-for-1. Get some pressure on. Another Raptor, net some energy. Not the worst thing ever. Means we can play Amulet next turn and start cranking on that card advantage if we don't draw our land. We do want to hit our land drops. By the way, there's only 21 lands in this list. I think that might be one too few. Maybe we need 22, but we do have 4 Deathrite Shamans to act as extra mana sources. Oh no, Blood Moon. Oh no. Oh, I didn't think there would be a Blood Moon list. Oh no, no, no. That's unlucky. That's tough. I could have totally fetched some basics too. Alright, now we know. Oh, the good thing is that we can get a bit on the beatdown. If they just kept the hand off of the Strength of Blood Moon and they don't have any follow-up, then we could still be in good condition. Cabaretti Revels again, yeah. I'm still wondering if this works with Scam. Like, it has to, right? Otherwise, why would you play it? So this just puts a Deathrite Shaman or something to play? Yeah, that's sick. Alright, I'll concede to that. Okay, so they are playing Blood Moon, which is tough against our 3-color mana base. We'll try our best to work around it, but ooh, might be a little tough. Might be a little tough. I miss playing the Blood Moon deck when we were playing Boros. Alright, play first. Okay, this is sweet. We can just fetch basics. We can fetch basics and be fine. We have a Surgical to defend ourselves against the most degenerate hands with Flage and Bowmasters. This seems good. We're going to fetch a Swamp and a Plains. Now we go. DRS, yep. I don't want to crack these right away just to not give them the Deathrite Shaman mana. And plus, if Blood Moon doesn't immediately hit the battlefield, I might actually want to get a Mountain or a Red Source off of one of these. So we'd probably get Swamp and then Rakdos over here. Or maybe we can get basic Mountain. ET. Let's flash in our Bowmasters. Go to Swamp. And then we'll not get the white source for now. We're gonna get our red source so that we can play Flage normally. But we're fine if we get Blood Mooned. And we only have black, because then we could just Chthonian Nightmare Loop. I don't think our opponent would get a Blood Moon off of their DT, seeing that we were being super coy about fetching. Like, I'm very clearly making the effort to play around it. Alright, that's fantastic. We can get our planes over here. So now we are insulated against Blood Moon. We are perfect right now. Go ahead and play our Flage, get this Deathrite Shaman out of the way. Because we got this basic, it's going to be a little hard to escape Flage. That's okay. It's worth playing around Blood Moon. But it still doesn't have anything useful in the graveyard, but we have the Surgical ready. Okay, that's Jarzel. Jarzel can flash back the Shaman. I would be interested in Surgicaling that. Would I? Because I'm going to play another Flage next turn and kill the Jarzel. So how much do I care about them getting a new Shaman into play? I mean, I kind of care, because then they'll be able to exile my Flages, right? Yeah. So since they didn't have a reanimate line, let's go ahead and Surgical your Deathrite Shaman. This way Jarzel won't be able to target anything. Oh, what a hand. So they can pitch Fury whenever the hell they want. They do have the Blood Moon, but they're not going to use it. They're just going to pitch it to Fury. Okay, okay, okay. And then in the library, they got the Furies, the Trolls, the Griefs. Pretty much what I'm expecting. They got one more Jarsel in there. And one Pick Your Poison. Cool. Pick Your Poison is not going to do too much against me. They might have just been expecting like some random graveyard hate, like a Hearse or a Leyline of the Void, that is pretty good against. Sweet. Look at nerfed Crucius over here. 3-1? Tisk. And they might go ahead and Fury here to try to get another good creature into play. They could hit something like Jarsel, that would be a decent hit. Another Bowmasters? Okay. This is fine, they're just putting they're just putting Fury into Thin. They're not putting it into play permanently. Also, if we draw a red source, or any fetch land that can get me red, Flage will go back into play, and I don't think we lose from that point. So this game is not a guaranteed win for us at all, but I think we're okay, and we have a lot of reasonable lines to victory from this point. Oh, another Fury? Just for Cabaretti value? Interesting. I would think that they would want to just play, what's his name? Crucius out. He's a pretty decent card. Okay, thinking time. So they have no ones in the bin. I can play the Ajani and I could flip him. That's not going to do anything. We could play Bowmasters, Recurring Nightmare once, get Flage back, kill Jarsel. That seems sweet. Flage is also really sweet with Chthonian Nightmare, because you can pay the 3 energy to reanimate him, and it's pretty much just a removal spell. 1, 2, 3. Flage. Kill you. Welcome back, Flage. Oh, this deck is sweet. Alright, now opponent, of course, can top deck something, and then Cabaretti Revels, like if they draw a Fury red card, and then they hit another Jarsel Crucius kind of character, it could be really good for them. Right. Let's go ahead and play this cool Amulet, and then probably play the Ajani to follow it up. This might just get hit by the Pick Your Poison. I mean, I don't care. I've already gotten the card advantage off of it, and that is a Blood Crypt, ladies and gentlemen. Flage will be hitting the battlefield next turn. Go ahead and kill it. Keep our Bowmasters back. We could attack to trade to start to clear the board, but it's fine to keep my boy in play. Yeah, they'll just play that, because what else are they going to do? The Flage is impending. Draw the ability to play Recurring Nightmare again. Alright, this is sick. Or let's get rid of everything that's not a creature in there. This will go face. Recurring Nightmare. Sack the cat. Sacking the cat is gonna flip a Johnny. Isn't that cool? Get the Bowmasters back. The Johnny flips, hit you in the face. Ah, I love being high ranked. To win a game, you go from rank 19 to rank 19. Ah, feels good. If I lose, I'm probably all the way down to like 22 or something. Let's get another game in. All right. One lander? I don't think we can keep this one. I'm going to ship it back. This is a lot stronger. Just thinking about what card goes away. I think Flage is the card that goes away. We have Thoughtseize to interact. We have Chthonian Nightmare plus Ajani as sort of a package. And then just an individually strong 1-drop is Deathrite. I think we lead on the Deathrite Shaman. Painless too. I like that. This way we'll have access to 3 mana next turn, so that we can Thoughtseize and then play an Ajani. Or you just eat a removal spell. And again, I'm really never mad when my 1-drop eats a removal spell at least mana parity. Much better than a 2-drop that I spent 2 mana on eating that same removal spell. I really should have Thoughtseize first, but in my mind at least we're going to do Thoughtseize and the Guide of Souls, because I do really want to see what's in my opponent's hand. Alright, my opponent has a pretty disgusting Jarsel hand, and also like Oko that's going to be very strong. So what's disgusting about this is like we can discard the Raptor and then Jarsel goes like Bolt Raptor 3-drop. That's kind of effed up. I think we, yeah, this is tough because Oko is going to take over the game. As will Jarsel. I think Oko is the stronger card. But man, this doesn't feel good at all. The good news is they have only a tap land here. So they may not be playing this Jarsel right away, but I think my Guided Souls is just going to die to removal. I don't know if I should have played it out. Yeah, they hit a land drop. I like their brew. Temur Midrange. It's sick. Now they get their Lightning Bolt back. Party Thrasher, by the way, is a sweet card that I haven't seen too many people play. Yeah, I think it was definitely a mistake by me to play that out. I said it was kind of a no-brainer to put the Guided Souls to be mana efficient. But really, I should have thought Seized first. Okay, so we're going to play these two together. And I think we're backs against the wall here. We lost pretty early. The Party Thrasher, they can discard the 2-drop so that Jarsel can flash it back. They choose not to, instead getting rid of extra lands, which is fair. And it looks like they're going to... Oh, Kaminskin, that's gross. Oh, that's nasty.
Fight the good fight. Actually, fight all the
Didn't they get to
fights.
Raptor anyway? Jeez.
We are large and in charge.
Okay, I'm gonna let them cast this just to see what else is in their deck. This deck is sweet, by the way. I've not seen anything like this yet. Wait, they don't get to cast it? Wow, these all wizards? You're a wizard, you're a wizard. You are a hamster. There's at least enough wizards for that. Okay. Okay. I like it. Alright, now it's the time where I stop playing energy finally and I start playing this, though. A little bit of energy here. Yeah, actually, you do Jarsel Party Thrasher together to set up Jarsel? I'm in love with this. This deck has some sick 1, 2, 3, 4 curves that it can do with Minskin Boo on top. Oh, that's cool. Right, so this is what we said we were going to do against creature decks. Swords in for Thoughtseize. I don't think Duress is worth doing. Of course, we could Duress a big Planeswalker like a Minsk or an Oko. We could also Needle for Oko. I think we're best off just trying to do our thing and using the removal spells against Oko. That's a little sus. Oh, this kind of mid-range matchup I think is going to thrash us. You know, like I said before, this deck is still in an early draft. Do need to shore up matchups like this. Maybe we can make some changes in the sideboard, maybe some changes to the main board, maybe somebody else has some ideas. I've seen a lot of people doing Mardu Sack Energy, and everybody's build is a little bit different. We could Goblin Bombardment, add oven build, etc., etc. We're on Nightmare here. Okay, going first, I think this one is pretty decent. Yeah, this is a pretty agreeable hand full of 2-drops, and I don't think it gets better on average if I mulligan. So we're just going to play that, and we're going to Surveil. Trying to hit our 3rd land. We do want to hit our 3rd, 4th land. I think this deck really should increase its land count, the more I think about it. I'll have to figure out what to cut. My Shadowy Backstreet. 3rd land, definitely. I just said that. And I'll go ahead and pass the turn to our opponent. We'll flash in Bowmasters. We'll fetch out a Rakdos land over here. Opponent will be drawing a card. Alright, I think now is probably the time to jam this Amulet. It'll be hit here. Really cool that Nightmare and Amulet use the same currency. So that if you're not using one card, you can pour the resources into the other. They discharge me, that's up to 4 energy for them. Awesome. After, let's see what hits. Can hit anything in the deck, even a Minskin Boo. Jarsel. Now that's very good. We're going to have to remove that on the spot. So we're going to want to, before the Jarsoul trigger even happens, we're going to want to go ahead and shoot it. Do we want a basic? Do we want to get Boros land to get 2 of each color? That sounds pretty good. We can escape Phage very easily. We just need to draw anything other than basic swamp to be able to pay for escaping Phage. I want to do this right now as opposed to on our turn, because they're going to get the flash back another card, draw a card immediately. Alright, sweet. So now let's think about what we want to do. We can do Chthonian Nightmare, we get our Bowmasters back, we can ping the Amped Raptor. And then we would have 1 energy left over that we could eventually pump into an amulet at some point. I wish I had 1 more land drop, I'll be honest with you. Trying to think about what I could do. We could do the Phage just to be mana efficient. We play an amulet to try to dig for our next draw. I do like the idea of playing Phage right now, and the tiebreaker here is that if we just draw another land, we have enough cards in our graveyard to escape it immediately. And we can always do the Chthonian Nightmare, recur Phage as a removal spell kind of deal. Party Thrasher, you got it. This does not die to Phage. That's why this card's so good. It doesn't die to Bolt. Dies to Path, though, so... or this isn't Path, this is Swords, but... Potato. 1 mana white removal spells coming through. Just thinking about what I do. We could throw the Chthonian Nightmare down here, get the Orcish Bowmasters back. We could just play an Ajani looking to Legend Rule or Chthonian next turn. Let's begin by removing my opponent's threat from the board. That resolves pretty cleanly, so let's resolve the Ajani.
Nothing is more important than family.
Hopefully we fade them having something very aggressive here that will slap us while we finish getting set up. Oh, Arcanist? Alright, this deck is sick. Oko can help them stabilize, though.
Sing with me. I will enlighten you.
Oh, Yuri? Yeah. Oops, there goes my board. Oh, man, that's terrible. Ah, that's tough. Wow, that is very tough. Okay, so let's think about what we can do here. We could play an Unstable Amulet, draw a card. We could play Chthonian Nightmare, draw a card off of Amulet. If we play Chthonian Nightmare, draw a card off of Amulet, hit a land, we then play a Johnny, activate the Chthonian Nightmare, and that wouldn't work because we would be 1 energy short. We could just play the Ajani. He would get shot. I think the best play is to put 1 of these 2 into play and then activate the amulet. Second amulet into play for now. Chthonian, not really what we're looking for. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
We have to draw a card. Yeah, bonus deck is sick. Absolutely clobbering us. They just line up very, very well. Their threats are super fast. Okay, we can play a Johnny here. And then probably just swords something, anything. A tough case of energy removal. Unfortunately, swords does not say exile target Oko. So this Planeswalker is going to absolutely take over the game. Now my opponent can attack, get the discharge back, hit this. Oh, it's tough. We're going to have to exile that Dreadhorde Arcanist before anything funny happens. Oh, this is a wizard too, by the way. This deck is so cool. It's a proactive, like, tap-out Flame of Anor deck. Usually when people play Flame of Anor, they play it in control with, like, Snapcaster Mage, Sounders Tidebinder, but now we're playing these tap-out sorcery speed wizards, like Jarsoul, Party Thrasher, Dreadhorde Arcanist that we just exiled. It's dope, honestly. Okay, so now we can play a Johnny, flip a Johnny. Is that going to help us? Let's find out. Oh, we can get Phage back too. Phage is looking very much like an elk. I'm going to be honest with the whole crowd. He's looking like an elk. We could then sacrifice that elk to Chthonian Nightmare. Ideas. Okay, I'm going to play Phage. If he gets elked, he's getting sacked to Chthonian Nightmare. I clear the board. No attacks. This is tough. This Oko is I mean, Oko's Oko. It's a tough card to beat.
Let's broaden
Sweet.
your existence.
So, unfortunately, our guy just got annihilated instead of turned into an elk, so we cannot sack him to Chthonian Nightmare. We could play a Johnny, sack half of a Johnny to the Chthonian Nightmare, flip the Ajani, and use his ability, his 0 ability. I mean, sure, that's all we got, right? I'm trying to think of anything else that we could realistically do. There's not much there.
To the hunt!
It's Bowmasters here. Back a cat. Flip the Ajani, take action. We're never going to be able to kill this Oko. I think we just pressure their life total. And I think we're going to kill Party Thrasher before pressuring their life total, because, man, that is a lot of card advantage over time. That could be a very incorrect decision, and I could be looking very silly right now, because that's 4 damage that we don't face. But believe it or not, we actually have a shot here. It's not a great shot, but, like, we have a flip to Johnny in play. In Chthonian Nightmare, a Fleege almost ready to go. This is good. Yuri, no! Oh, the bad guys win again. Oh, that's a quad. And my Ajani goes. Ugh. And then I get to escape my Fleege just for it to be turned into an elk. Let's grab that Ruckus Theater, see what we get. Amp Trapper is sweet. Like, I think I'll draw it. I think I could draw that card. Question is, do I just play it? If I play Fleege, it's a guaranteed removal spell for Fury and some guaranteed life gain, but it's also a pretty guaranteed elk. I love my guaranteed elks. I think we'll leave one Ajani because being able to flip him would be very powerful. Oh, I just realized how close we are to lethal. My word. They are actually at 4. Oh. Could I have possibly cast 2 spells from exile this turn? And then hit them up top with the Fleege? Could I have had a Nightmare loop? Oh, right? Yeah. I maybe could have played Nightmare, used the energy for Amulet, and tried to hit some cards there.
I invite you to change your ways. Your new look is enchanting.
Very enchanting, Oko. I know. We're going to take the damage here because we're very close to winning. Alright, let's cross our fingers, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to try to win the game. I hope we can, at least. We're going to attack them with Fleege. They're going to eat the food. Understandable. Eat the damage. Oh. Look at the damage. Okay. They took the damage, ladies and gentlemen. That's a spellcast from exile, and that's it. Oh, no, we did not deserve to win that one. Okay, I want to needle Oko, dude. I can't. we gotta needle the Oko. Right? Like, we can't beat that card. We got so lucky we beat it, I'm gonna be honest. It beat it. Oh my god, we didn't deserve to win that. We didn't deserve this. Sometimes you deserve a win. I don't know. I don't think we deserve that one. What comes out if Needle comes in? Is it just 2 swords out? Would love to keep their board clean. No, you know what? You know what? Oh, I need to Needle Oko. I'm so split on what to do. I'm really so split. I need the density of removal. I need Oko to get out of here. I need these cards bad. Deathward Shaman is all around great. Maybe Deathward Shaman is the worst here. This is the card that can get cut. Johnny won the game. Orcish Bowmasters great against the blue deck. Amped Raptor. It's just silly good 2-for-1 always. And then Unstable Amulet is just great card advantage. And they have difficulty interacting with it other than Noko activation. It also won us the game. Yeah, let's keep it. Okay. Opponent goes first, but we got a multi-Guide of Souls hands, and I always keep hands with 2 Guide of Souls. It's just so much energy. You can't say no to that. It's your boy, amp it up! Alright, so we'll have to think about our sequencing if we want to play double Guide of Souls or if we want to just throw that Amped Raptor out there. Okay, Party Thrasher. Ooh, we can work towards Legend ruling the Ajani if we play the first one this turn. Or maybe Ajani just eats a removal spell. I think I definitely do want to play a 2-drop here. It's just the question of which one. And I think the answer is Amped Raptor. Because I love calling this card a 2-for-1, but it very much is. Chthonian? Yep, not super useful right now. But it's cool to have it in play. I think we're going to take a really aggressive slant here. We're going to have a lot of energy because we have this double Guide of Souls hand. Let's put it to use. I think if we win this game, it's going to be early. I mean, hey, 2-for-1. They spent a whole removal spell on that Raptor to just put a Chthonian Nightmare into play for free. Alright, now we can do something really goofy this turn. Oh, they tapped out! Alright. Opponent, I hate to do this to you. Oh, Fury, wow. Okay. That does mess with the plan a tiny bit. Alright, but here's the plan, chat. Hear me out. Fetch Rakdos. Doesn't really need to be Rakdos, but we need black eventually. You? You?
It's not perfect, but we have peace.
Okay. We have a... Oh, we can get the guide back. Oh, the guide back? Not at the amps, but you know what? Let's get the guide back. Guide of Souls is too good, dude. Oh, right, we don't have a red permanent now. Nah, I did it wrong. That was incorrect by me. I'm sorry. Yeah. I should have gotten the Amped Raptor back. Because my plan was to 0 the Ajani, kill the Dreadhorde Arcanist. That's a mistake by me. I totally forgot that I don't get to use that ability correctly. Without, you know, without a red permanent in play. But we can do it again this turn. And we will do it again this turn. We're also going to gain a goofy amount of life. Yeah. Minsky Boo with Convoke, that's so cursed.
Who isn't just any hamster? He's a mini.
Hopefully that's not a game-losing mistake. We still have the ability to do something pretty crazy next turn.
Go big, or actually go big. Just go big.
Just go big. All at me and not a Johnny? Very interesting. Oh, they're going to bolt at Johnny? Makes sense. I assumed they would draw cards.
I cannot abide this treachery.
Okay, so we're going to bring a Johnny back and then bring Raptor back. Seems pretty good. I think we should still block here, though. It'll block in this Dreadhorde Arc. Okay. We lose the cat token. And then that means we're going to have to lose a Guide of Souls to Chthonian Nightmare, but it's such the price we pay. We have to kill this Minskin Bow, otherwise it's going to take over the game. I'm going to get a basic Swamp, because we're going to need to Chthonian a couple of times. Play the Ajani. Actually, since we played the Ajani, we don't actually have to sack a Guide of Souls to Chthonian. Oh, we can also just attack down Minsk. So maybe we should hit Boo here? Look at that goofy amount of energy I have, by the way. Yeah, I'm gonna attack Minsk. Let's hit Boo with the Johnny. I give up. Woo!
Isn't over.
I don't think we deserve to win that game. We're still rank 19. We won 2 games at rank 19. Anyway, I don't I don't think we deserve to win that game. Oh, I even made a mistake there. Pretty big one. Oh well. You know what? I'll take my wins as they come. That Temur deck is super, super sweet, though. I hope someone keeps working on it and keeps cooking with it, because the kind of curve outs that deck could do. Just the idea of Lightning Bolt into Dreadhard Arcanist, into Jarsoul flashing things back, into Minsk and Boo. That's kind of crazy, and it also has a density of creatures to actually make use of the Lizard Wizard Party Thrasher. Usually Party Thrasher decks just only play him and not that many other creatures that come out at sorcery speed, but that deck had a couple at least. So they could at least do a little bit of convoking. Alright. That was quick. Right as I stopped talking. Alright, we've got a diamond opponent. Dismiss the Abyss. We will be on the play, and we have my favorite card, Guide of Souls, in hand. This isn't a great hand, but I think we'll keep it because we can go turn 1, turn 2, turn 2 Surveil, turn 3 Removal Spell off of Fleege. It's a little slow, but it's a slow mid-range deck, right? Let's do our mid-range thing. Alright, Godless, Guide of Souls. Alright. They are on Lurrus, so hopefully this is just a fair Lurrus deck. I mean, pretty much every Lurrus deck is a fair low to the ground deck. Let's go ahead and play our Surveil land. See what's on top. Thoughtseize? Yeah, I'll take a look. It's still early enough in the game that they have most of their hand. We'll probably end up playing that turn 4. Maybe not, actually. Yeah, we'll probably play it next turn. Oof, never mind. Turn 4 it is, since that got scolded. We won't get the extra mana. And it looks like they're Lurrus control if they're main decking scolding, so I'm happy that we kept this. Call me crazy, but I think we might just throw a Flage at them. Just to saturate our mana. Yeah. Throw a Flage at them. They're probably wondering why I am doing this. It'll push, you got it. Okay, so next turn we're either going to Thoughtseize put Jagantha into our hand, or Thoughtseize play the other Flage as a removal spell. We'll have to see. Okay. Probably want to play this Johnny now that we drew it. But we got to see what's in that hand of theirs. If this just straights 1-for-1 with a counter spell, I'm cool with that. Yeah, mana drain for only 1 mana, I'll take it. Let's jam this Johnny. Unfortunately, I think we just have to jam our threats one at a time here. I think if I keep waiting, opportunities don't happen, though maybe there's an argument. I play Flage again, just hit them for 3, hope I draw another 2-drop, and then I can jam 2 2-drops in the same turn. More likely to have something stick there. Okay, well, there goes my board. At least we can Flage down this Bowmasters. We're getting very close to being able to escape this Flage. We just need a second red source to show up. We haven't drawn any of our fetch lands, so mana's pretty imperfect. Ooh, I'll take an Amps Raptor 2-for-1, please. Ooh. Oh, okay, yeah, I'll pay for that. Always paying for that. And there's your boy Johnny. Alright, we know opponent has the Drain TM. So, let's go ahead and Fleech their Bowmasters, get drained, and then resolve and a Johnny. Sounds pretty good. And then we can escape Fleech next turn. Sounds fantastic. I'll probably take this mana drain for 3. That means I get to play Lurrus, yeah. Alright, Johnny hits play.
Where shall we hunt today?
So they will be getting 3 mana off of the mana drain. Okay, they're gonna just jump with that Bowmasters to recur it with Lurrus. That's fair. I was assuming they just want to recur Bauble. Yeah, they get to play Lurrus, put Lurrus in a hand, play Lurrus, and then... Okay, they are recurring Bauble right away. Double Bauble, sure. The good news is that we get to kill this Lurrus unless they draw something, like, very specific. Is there a card that interacts with Phleage on the stack for 1 mana? I know, of course, there are cards that kill it once it's in play for 1 mana. I don't know about on the stack, right? You can't spell pierce a creature. Maybe in paper you could assert yourself strongly enough that somebody would believe a spell pierce could hit a creature. Alright, get out of here, Lurrus. Alright, we are now pretty firmly in the driver's seat. Alright, Chase. Nope. Nothing happening. Alright, against Lurrus control, we're going to want our extra bit of hand hate. I don't think we want these surgicals. I think that's a little bit extra, I could say. Probably the extra removal can just go. So since they're playing Jace, they're probably playing this Valky Tibble combo. So maybe all the discharges go, and we just put the Thing Needle in. And that way we can name Tibble the Cosmic Imposter. Did I see like a singleton red source that would confirm that? Usually the Tibble gamers play 1 red. No, we didn't see it, but that doesn't mean it's not in the deck. I mean, that seems like that's the deck, right? You don't really play this Jace without playing that card. Seems pretty good. Do I actually want all the Phleages? Would I rather have a discharge? No, Phleage is just so good. Maybe I should have 4 Phleages in this deck, though that might be too much. We'll be on the draw against Lurrus. We have, yeah, what I would call a pretty decent hand. We can surveil turn 1. Turn 2, we can put out the Bowmasters, then start getting our energy package in play. Getting a bit of card advantage as we go. Oh, more Raptors? You love it. Okay, that does go in the bin, even though I love the card, just because we do eventually need to hit lands. Oh, the Sylex? Okay, that's pretty decent against us. Sylex on 2 would kind of ruin my day. I'm going to crank it up to at least 1. You know, I have a Raptor in hand, and I'm going to play a Bowmasters right now, so they're pretty likely to go and put that on 2. Hopefully they pop it early before I actually play all my threats. I gotta get a Sacred Foundry here. And then flash out the Bowmasters. This might just get counter Bowmastered. I don't think I care that much. I think I'm totally okay to trade resources. My deck has enough 2-for-1s that we can just trade resources all day and eventually come out on top. I'm gonna play this Raptor. Just because I don't want this Sylex blowing up my amulets. It's really their only way to do that. But Duress? Man, I love Raptor so much. Raptor hitting a discard spell feels so nice. Oh my god. 3 of a kind. I guess we just take the drain. Alright, so now everything that they're doing is face up. There's no mysteries. They're going to Bowmaster me back. No, they're going to push the token and then crank the Sylex. Okay, that's sweet. If they're going to pop Sylex right now, I'm totally cool with that. We have these amulets. They don't know that, of course. They assume that this is the Raptor I drew. Go ahead and attack you. And then they're going to pop Sylex. Yeah, this is awesome. Yeah, they did that way too early. I should have kept that white mana up just because it's my only mana. And we know we can resolve both of these amulets while they are only holding Bowmasters and Fatal Pushes. Funny how we could probably just hold this Bowmasters to kill theirs, but I want to resolve this amulet while there is 0% chance of a counter spell. They are not going to play their Bowmaster first. That's very understandable. Let's take our Surveil here since we have all 2 mana plays, right? We don't need another Chthonian. Go ahead and put out a threat. This is also more energy. We may not spend the energy, so we'll be able to turn it into cards. Start scolding. I understand. Sometimes you get scolded in life. Go ahead and play out this Nightmare just to be mana efficient. Because I don't want to play my Bowmasters first, then it's just going to die. Alright, Bowmasters is exiled under this amulet, so we're going to activate the other one on our opponent's end step. We're going to wait to end step because we don't want to give them more information. And now we can just start looping Bowmasters with Chthonian Nightmare. So actually, I don't even have to worry about playing my Bowmasters first. I'm just going to play it first, and then we can just loop it back. Yeah, this is the pretty disgusting part of the game where we're just going to loop Bowmasters and Amp Raptor, and we're going to get a ping in 2 energy every time something enters the battlefield. We're going to turn it into card advantage here. It's pretty gross. Let's see what's under this amulet. Just a land drop. That's okay. Totally okay. A Thoughtseize. I'm absolutely interested in this. I will pull the best card out of their hand. Absolutely. We're going to play the Bowmasters right now. Also good with that. And they are holding. Belly's Edict and a push. Okay. So I'll go ahead and play the Bowmasters to kill their Bowmasters. And then we're going to use the Bowmaster token to get back an Amped Raptor that's going to be even more energy. And they might Fatal Push my Bowmasters, but do I really care? At this point in the game? No, I don't. Now we have, like, the disgusting loop going. More energy. I could play this. Loop back Bowmasters whenever I want. Great. Play that Sacred Foundry out tapped. And then I will tap both of these on my opponent's end step. I could loop the Raptor for another Bowmaster right now. In fact, that's actually what I'm going to do. Yeah, my opponent's just going to scoop to that. Like, your control deck is not going to beat, like, Bowmasters constantly looping and Raptor getting the card advantage that gets under their radar. Alright, rank 18. Alright, I think we're going to cut the video here. That's a bit over an hour. We went 4-0, if I'm recalling correctly, and we went up 2 whole ranks for going 4-0. But hey, that's pretty cool. Alright, let's go back to the deck really quick and talk about it. Decks, please. Ajati Sack, please. Yeah, if you have any suggestions for this, let me know. I'm open to changing anything. Just about anything here, right? Of course, we're going to want to keep like the Guide of Souls, Energy, Scan, Nightmare package. I think all these cards in the main deck are good. They're all good quality, and they all work very well with the plan, except Thoughtseize and Deathrite Shaman are the only 2 that aren't directly part of the plan, but the power level of these 2 cards is just through the damn roof. And this is the kind of interaction I want. This is just busted. So I think they're the 2 cards to shore up the plan, but I could be convinced otherwise. We're also running 21 lands. I think I could be convinced on 22. I could also be convinced to completely change the sideboard. But this is sweet. I hope other people take this deck and iterate on it, because this is awesome. You saw we got some really cool loops going with Chthonian Nightmare. We're absolutely not an all-in combo deck on this card, but we got just a crazy amount of fair value off of it. And there was one point where we had like 9 or 12 energy. It's just silly. And it really feels like we're playing a pile of the best cards, yet they're all synergistic with each other as well. So I'm super excited to see where this deck goes. Maybe it'll take off. I'm looking for the community's help to refine this and keep working on this. All right. Thanks for watching. Thanks for helping with the deck building effort if you've ever pitched in, and see you in the next video.